We engage in authentic conversations about our weekly entrepreneurial goals while exploring business, failures, success, and personal growth.
We're going to continue to work and get better at this, so thanks for tuning in.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Our vision will highlight a diversity of guests who are creatives, industry leaders, and individuals creating positive change within our communities. Join us on the Our Vision podcast.
Our shared journey to become better humans.
It's not only our vision, but it's your vision too.
FSU.
Outside of all the other stuff we talk about,
The dumb
like
shit
business,
or the
entrepreneurship and investing and all of that. How do you find time to enjoy your life?
Well, I don't know. I think I was thinking about that a little bit more recently. With things starting to open up, with the shift of moving from working for somebody else and working for ourselves, like how do you balance your life is basically what you're saying, like finding time.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and for me, I was thinking earlier today is like some of the things that we talk about are actually overlap that I enjoy. So, but you still need to get away from it so you can refresh your brain, I guess. So I don't know. I think I need to come up with a schedule where I'm just saying I work from this time to this time, maybe a little longer, but you always have time carved out to be able to do that.
So you haven't thought too much about that.
No.
And we've been talking about that too with getting on a solid schedule.
Right.
That way we can plan our entire day out, the week out, and then make spots for that time.
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Enjoying life outside of
I think
work.
it's really important that we start doing that because I think that's going to actually open our world up to even other possibilities for not only being healthier, right, mentally and physically, but then we're also going to meet other people too. So I think that's really important. So yeah, I don't think we've thought about that enough. I don't think I'm doing that enough. And I think I've gotten out of bad habits of going to do other things because of COVID. There was so much that wasn't open. Like one of the things you asked me what do I enjoy in my own time is like music. When was the last damn time I went and listened to music somewhere, And a lot of people. So I really miss that.
Well, we've been talking about going to Beachland, right? Beachland? Was that the spot? No, it was the
Rock and Roll
House
Hall
of
of Fame.
Blues.
Yeah, House of Blues. Yep.
To see Steve.
Yep. So
Mark.
we keep missing that Friday or whenever it is. I got to look.
Is it every Friday?
I think it's the first Friday of every month or something.
First
I gotta
Friday.
Look at, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to get out and start doing that kind of stuff again because I don't know. I miss that. I don't know about you. I mean, I know you don't. You enjoy that stuff, but it's not like you.
Not all the time.
You don't crave it as much as I do.
I love music. I'm a huge fan of music. In huge social events like that, I don't need it all the time.
Right.
Like you're the type of guy you can go out every week to something.
I really enjoy being out and seeing
those kinds of social gatherings.
But I think you like seeing new things sometimes too if it falls in that vein of something that you're interested in. And to me, that's the biggest thing is like getting out and seeing something new. I know I went to see the Van Gogh exhibit with my godmother. What was that? Like, remember when I went and did that?
Mm-hmm.
It was over in
I
Cleveland. Do. And, everybody was complaining about the price. It was like $75 a ticket. But, they had, I don't know how many projectors hanging from the scene. They had to paint everything. They had to retrofit this building that used to be abandoned, right? And I'm thinking, for $75, it's a new experience, right? So I'm willing to pay for new experiences. People are complaining. But it's like,
it's like a one-time. Most people are going to go once.
Right.
So how often do you get to see something like that? I didn't see it, but what would you say? Was it worth it?
Oh, to me, it was so worth it. And it's not even because I'm a huge fan of his works, but it was something new. Visually, you're standing in this room and it's like projecting all over the walls, and they have them cued in a way that, it's, all from top to bottom ceiling. And then there's lights running in the beams and everything, and just the sound in the room that they had also set up. It's like immersed. You're just kind of immersed in this visual, visual digital art, art. And it's just interesting to me.
Similar to the projections that you were talking about wanting to do at some point.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd love to do is I would love to find several artists that want to project onto something in the city somewhere, whether that be on a big building, whether it be down on the pier, or setting up some kind of scrim to be able to make that happen. Similar to that, yeah. Like creating an art installation outdoors would be really visual, whether that be partly video stills, it could be visual animation that's been created, and then do that to a music, a soundtrack of some sort, and let people walk by and see that. And I think we live in an area I think people would enjoy seeing that. And that's when I was recently looking up the art grant that Sandusky has. I think they had a grant for like $7,500, but you try not to think of your limitations, because how much does the projection screen cost? But I don't know, you got to work out all those issues too. But
what if you found someone, do you know anyone that does that kind of work and has all that equipment, maybe teamed up with them?
They're like problem solve, right? So that's
team up with them. Then you could learn from them how they do it. And then
it's 3D. It's like they do mapping with these projectors. So they're able to like map out a building and project on it. Right. And so I thought that would be an interesting project to work on. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. So I am still, that's like my fun time thinking. So I do daydream about that and start to look for the grants, think about it, try to understand like what are some options of how you can do it. I found some where I was showing you the other day, there's a company out there and I can't think of the name. They have a scrim that goes up on your window at your store, and then you can shoot an image on it, a video image on it. I thought, that's kind of interesting, right? So there's different applications, ways you could do that. And I just explore that every once in a while and think of what that might look like and what kind of soundtrack would that be. And, we know musicians, could we have them create something for that? So, yeah. And not necessarily to make money on it, too. I mean, that would just be kind of a cool community art installation. You see these people they put in our town, they make steel, I don't know, what would you call them? Steel sculptures, right? Something, not that, something different, right?
Like metal sculptures.
Yeah, right. This would be, another art installation within the community that wouldn't live forever. It would just be there for 3-4 weeks and then be gone. Or it might only be there for a weekend. I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get more, just doing more traveling, outdoor stuff, mountain biking. But I also want to get into more creative projects. So like filmmaking projects. That's something I think we can do more of this year.
I think that's why I was thinking the nature. That's why I said it to you. I'd like to do something out in nature because I like nature and it'd be a good starting point for me. I'm already doing that. I'm already present in nature and trying to create something visually. And then, whatever that means, right? And then edit that together with the soundtrack underneath it. And then also I want to take the nature sounds and put that in, overlay that with music and everything. And so,
what you should do? Do like a local National Geographic type video.
Yeah, there you go.
Just for your own
this is all for fun. Yeah, this is
exploration.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can have the voice. Yes, here is the what was that crane called?
The rarely seen blue heron.
Blue herring and heron, and what was the crane?
I think it was a snow ingret. I don't know what they're called.
Over here we have the glorious snow ingret.
Oh, and here's a
native to the shores of Lake Erie.
The beaver gnaws. Yeah. So, where would you go other than Ohio? Because I know you read about mountain biking. Like, if you could pick a trail, is there anywhere you could drive in a day, or even just 2 days to explore something new?
Oh man, around here
with a 2-day drive from here.
A 2-day drive, okay.
Like, where you could go for like a weekend and come back. Is there? Because I know you read about this stuff and you see other trails.
The Carolinas, Vermont is a good spot. I heard Columbus around that area has some.
I would think
spots.
So because you're
Michigan. I heard it has some decent spots.
Well, Columbus, you start to get that real rolling, right?
But I would say probably around the Appalachians, like that mountain range. And Vermont's a huge one. And then there's what's it called? Where your brother what was that?
Oh, Virginia.
Your brother's in the Carolinas, I thought.
No, well he switched. No, he's in Carolinas now. Yeah.
Your daughter's in Virginia.
No, they switched. Now my daughter's in Carolina and my brother went to Virginia.
So they...
Yeah, Charlottesville.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was in the Carolinas.
He was, right. Okay. He was in Greensboro. Now he's, so. But
I do know there's some good trails around that area. Okay. So I would say around those areas. And I want to go to Snowshoe in West Virginia. And that would be the closest.
Where's Snowshoe at?
So Snowshoe is a like skiing resort, and they have mountain biking and all that kind of stuff. So they have all kinds of recreational.
You were bringing up the mountain climbing, and when we were down in Fayetteville to go to your grandfather's home with your dad, and we went to that one shop, and they had a lot of mountain or rappelling equipment and rock climbing equipment.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. I think that would be, under the right circumstances, that would be really fun to kind of get into a little bit. I agree with that.
I want you to check out sometime this summer, we'll go down to West Virginia so you can check out Butcher Branch Trail. And that's where they have a lot of like world-class rock climbing walls. So yeah, it's a cool spot. It's like you step into another world. It's like a rainforest in that area.
Yeah, well, it's really beautiful down there. I mean, you told me the first time we went down there, you're like, "Hey, have you ever been to the mountains?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been to the mountains." And then we drove up to your grandfather's house, and as we're driving up, it got kind of late that night. The first time we'd ever went up there when we were going whitewater rafting. I'm like, holy shit, man! It is. I've never been in the mountains like that because it's way in there, and you're winding up into your grandfather's where he lives or where his home was, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's just
there's a lot of outdoors exploration to do there.
Really gorgeous place. I mean,
and nothing's off limits. Like you'll go to places in Ohio and they'll be like, well, you cannot walk beyond this point. In West Virginia, you can go anywhere.
Right.
Nothing's off limits.
There was as we were coming in, it was winter the last time we went. It started snowing the last time we went. And they have huge rhododendrons there, the bushes, and they're all growing off as you're winding up the road. I'd like to see those all in bloom at some point. Imagine that's really pretty in West Virginia.
Yeah. And in that area on Butcher Branch, they're all over the place.
Do you remember what color? Because there's a few different varieties. I don't remember what.
The flowers?
Yeah. Do you remember what
I don't know. I don't know if I don't remember seeing the flowers. I probably have, but I don't remember.
They don't last.
For some reason, I'm picturing like red.
Yeah, it could be like a reddish.
Yeah.
Red. Yep. They don't last all summer long. They go into bloom and then.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like some plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good, Brad. That would be great. What a great trip. And and if we're going to go in there, I'd like to I really do want to get healthier. Like I want my body to feel stronger and everything and start working out a little bit, doing those things in yoga. But when, I don't think I want to climb up 300 feet, but I wouldn't mind trying it on the level, at a beginner level.
Yeah. I'm totally a novice at that.
Yeah. I would want to go underneath somebody that understands what they're doing and start to learn the right way of how you set up the ropes and all that. So it'd be pretty cool.
Someone actually died not too long ago back in that area, and I think off of Butcher Branch. I don't know if they died. They fell though. We're in the hospital, but I can't remember. But that happened you'd want to have this past year.
You'd want to have your wits about you.
So it's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, same with the whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
When we went, that one guy that was taking us down. He said, remember he was talking about how fast is it the New River? Is that what we were on?
Yeah, New River.
It's one of the oldest rivers in the world.
Yeah, it's prehistoric.
You can see, and you
some of the land masses are prehistoric that you see on the shore.
Yeah, you can, and you can see the rock, the striations, or I don't know how you say that word, like the different sediment levels. Can't think of it right now. I feel kind of stupid.
Striations?
I thought I was going to say striations, but you can see it, and at the top it's just a solid rock. It's not like sandstone.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyways, what we were talking about dangerous is he said that he was taking Boy Scouts down. Do you remember that story? They had
maybe.
So you can have flash floods, and that's what happened. And he had like 12 or 14 or 16 Boy Scouts that were all like 11, 12, 9, 12, something like that, 12 years old. And he said that was the most scared that he'd ever been in his life. Like he had those kids and the water's raised. I don't know. Was he saying like 15, 20 feet?
Yeah, it was significant.
So every place that he was used to pulling off just wasn't there. I mean, that just those landing spots weren't there.
It's similar to the fall season because they open the dam, the Summersville Dam, I believe it is, which raises the water up that high. But this was a different incident where it was unexpected because it was a flash flood.
It just came out of nowhere. And they did get everybody off, he said, but he said, man, did that scare him. He said it was the worst time he's had since he was a guide. And he came down for a summer to work, our guide. I can't remember what his name was, but he was pretty cool, actually. And he said it was like 12 years later, he was still there. He enjoys it that much. So
yeah, the dangers with that, and why it's so dangerous, like in that circumstance, is because when the water raises, then you have more features you have to work around. There's boulders that are getting covered up with water, so it's more obstacles you got to look out for. The water will flow differently. And the dangerous thing about whitewater rafting too is this is the main thing they tell you when you're doing it. When you're doing it, it's not that bad. When you do it at first, you might be a little nervous, but they tell you if you ever fall out, lay flat on the water and keep your feet out in front of you, because what happens is, and this has happened many times, people will get their feet caught between rocks and it'll suck them under the water. Yep. Some spots can suck you in. Yep. And that's like the biggest, most dangerous thing.
And what he was saying is it does change the way everything's flowing. So the guide knows the river, but when everything changes 20 feet, that's a completely, so.
And the reason you keep your feet out is so you can bounce off the rocks and you're not like smacking your head or any of your other body parts. So.
Yeah. So he was saying like you had to reread the river. So he had enough experience to understand like ripples and that kind of things and the current. But he said there were still surprises in there that he wasn't aware of.
Yep.
So yeah, I can imagine it'd be pretty scary at times. So yeah, you were saying you want to go down and kayak. You know, it's not something, you could probably do it yourself, but it's probably good to meet a group of people that are skilled at doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot that's dangerous because you need to know how to roll. There's probably many situations that you have to be prepared for.
Well, and I would think you'd want to have other people know that you're out on the river too. You know, I don't know, especially
and I don't know what the rules and regulations of that are. I'm sure you have to have some kind of permits and things like that.
It may. I don't know.
But I'm not sure.
It'd be something
I want to learn more
start
about
reading about. Yeah, so summer's coming. Spring's coming. So things are starting to grow here. I'm excited about getting out. I need to get out, dude. Oh, man. I'm so ready to be outdoors. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to do. I would like to go down to see my brother in Virginia and my daughter in Carolina. So there's two things I would like to do this year during the spring and summer.
I'll go with you. Throw the mountain bikes in the back.
Yeah. I'm sure they got some great trails there. I know Sean.
That's in Virginia. Yep. So I don't know what's in Virginia.
Yeah.
And where their location's at.
We'll look into it. I'm sure there's something near them within relatively close driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but pretty normal usually for me. As it warms up, I start to do more outdoors.
What's that work-life balance do for you? Why is it important to balance that out?
I think I start to lose focus on everything. So I start slowing down on what I need to do when I don't have those other things that are fueling me. For me, it gives me more energy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Burnout's a big thing for me. Because when you're constantly working, trying to achieve goals financially, you get burnout over time.
And it's not the whole of life.
You need breaks from that. So you can come back. It's like a battery. You lose the charge.
Yeah. Well, and
you need a break to recharge that energy. And when you come back from that break that you take, you're ready to go back into it,
Yeah, I know it helps.
At full charge. So,
just like if you're working a job, your life is not your job. Your business is not your life. It's not like there's other things that happen around you, family and getting outdoors and going to sit on a patio and having a cup of coffee and drinking with some friends or what, within reason, enjoying yourself. I mean, I think that's really important.
That's a good point too. Family is an important part of that balance. So what do you do as far as family goes? Like what
Well, I mean, one of the things.
What kind of time do you take away?
One of the things I do
with family?
Is, like my daughter and I. You see, you're around me quite a bit, so you see that I talk to my daughter usually weekly at this point. My parents, I like to go over and visit them every once in a while. So. And I think I'll be doing more of that this summer, spending some time. I got some projects on their property that I want to work on and help them out with. But yeah, it's important to me. Those sitting down and have a cup of coffee with mom and dad and just enjoying a dinner is, to me, just as valuable as any money that we're ever going to make.
Yeah.
That time, I know, like even your family, you go over and you hang out and play with their dog and the shepherd and throw the frisbee and, BS with your dad in the garage and stand out back near the koi pond that you built for them. And those moments are really important. I think, I don't know, they feel more makes life comfortable to me, at least.
Yeah. I don't have kids, but I have some nephews and a niece, and I try to do some things with them. Like I took my nephews last year. I think it was last year. I took them mountain biking for the first time. Took them to Ray's too. Well, I took Jimmer on the trail, and then I took Colton and Jimmer.
And they loved it. You said.
Yeah. They struggled a little bit though, but they had fun. So I try to do stuff with them. I took them fishing.
Yeah, I did that when my grandson comes home with my parents, with his great grandparents. I take him fishing and go, tool around with him, and it's fun. I enjoy that. And this year he might even stay with me a little bit more when he's home. And then I have 2 grandsons. So yeah, those moments are really important. Like, talk about that work-life balance. We went and rented a beach house for Christmas, and we stayed together for a week. And that's wonderful for me. That's just, like I said, that beats out any dollar that I ever make. So that work-life balance, that's really important to me, is to have time to do those moments.
What I'd say to people is think about what made you happy when you were a child. And because I go right back to those hobbies and things that I enjoyed.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So
fishing, being outdoors. I mean,
I come from a family of hunters, so I grew up hunting. I don't do it. I haven't went hunting in years. But
I think that's
a lot of outdoors activities.
Good way to look at it, Brad. Yeah, I mean,
sports, baseball, ride my bike. So,
yeah, and you said go back to being a kid. You might throw the ball with the nephew or something this year.
Yeah, and I do that.
Go
too.
back to being a kid.
Usually, when I go over visit them, we're throwing a football around.
Yeah, I've forgotten how when I took my grandson fishing, we went shopping, and I was like, man, is he busy, dude? Excuse me. I couldn't believe how busy that little kid was.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see your nephews, you know what I mean? You see how you forget how much energy parents are spending with their children.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, they're nonstop.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are some things that we do to balance out our work lives.
Yeah, and I think you can lose sight of that too, that balance.
Yeah.
You say, I'm too busy for this. I can't do this. It comes down to time management. I think sometimes we don't use our time wisely. Not you. Yeah. I'm saying for myself. And I'm like, I probably could do more on that end with balance and taking care of myself and working out and riding a bike if I would focus and use my energy like we talked about at the beginning or halfway into what we were talking about is like setting a schedule, trying to stick to that goal. And I think that's really important over this next year or next months as summer starts to get nice. Yeah. Try to stick to that schedule so you have time to go do those things, because I think there's a lot of benefit to that.
Yep. So yeah, that's about all the time we have for today. If you guys want to share what you do to balance your life from work, let us know. Share in the comments, rate and review us.
Yeah. Just kind of wrap it up and say, keep trying to find balance in life. That's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. I think that's what most people want in life. So if you have anything that really helps you create that in your life, let us know. Put it in the comments. Reach out to us if there's a way that you're found a way to have balance in your life. And because I think everybody is searching for that. So keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thanks for
everyone.
Listening.